The Regis poem is a corner of Masonic lore, and it reveals the birth of Freemasonry in its very second paragraph. It goes on to describe about how great lords and ladies are seeking a future for their children turn to the learned clerks for guidance, and these clerks proposed a solution, a craft utilising the skills of stonemasonry with the principles of geometry, and this fusion would provide sustenance, moral grounding and purpose for generations to come, and it forges a legacy that shapes masonry that we know today. The passage tells of a transformation where the union of operative and speculative arts gave rise to a tradition that continues to inspire and guide Masons, and it has done for over 700 years.
The comments, opinions, and views shared during this program are of those individual Freemasons and do not reflect the official position of a Grand Lodge, concordant body, appendant body, Masonic Authority, or craftsmanonline.com.
Welcome to the Daily Masonic Progress Podcast with your host, Right Worshipful Brother Darren Allatt.
The passage in question reads, "And pray we them for our Lord's sake, to our children some work to make, that they might get their living thereby, both well and honestly, full and securely. In that time, through good geometry, this honest craft of good masonry was ordained and made in this manner, counterfeited of these clerks together. And these Lord's prayers they counterfeited geometry, and gave it the name of masonry, for the most honest craft of all. These Lord's children thereto did fall, to learn of him the craft of geometry, than which he made full curiously." Now, in the original text, the term counterfeited has a different meaning in this context. You see, in Middle English, counterfeited meant to fashion, devise, or contrive, rather than suggesting forgery or deceit. And this historical context highlights the idea that the clerks intentionally created a craft of masonry by integrating geometric principles with operative skills. The clerks recognized that masonry, guided by geometry, could provide the practical skills and a moral framework. So by learning to shape the stone with precision and build structures embodying human ingenuity and divine order, the noble children would gain a livelihood and absorb the philosophical truths guiding the hand, the mind, and the spirit. Thus, the passage illustrates how the clerks devised a craft that would shape both the physical world and the character of those who practiced it. The first paragraph, though, of the Regis poem provides essential context for understanding the motivations behind the creation of this new craft. It speaks of the great lords and ladies who, despite their noble status, they lacked sufficient resources to support their numerous children. So when faced with this challenge, they convened a council to devise a plan, and that plan would ensure their children could lead a prosperous and honourable life. Now, in response to this need, the learned clerks proposed a solution that would have far-reaching consequences. By teaching the noble offspring the skills of stonemasonry as well as the wisdom of geometry, they sought to establish a legacy of prosperity and honour. And this decision set in motion the creation of a craft that would not only provide a means of livelihood, but also a foundation of moral and intellectual growth. The Regis poem presents a powerful narrative of transformation and purpose, with the alchemy of stonemasonry and geometry serving as a metaphor for the refinement of the human potential. Just as the rough ashlar is transformed into the perfect ashlar through the application of the Masonic tools and principles, these noble children themselves would be shaped into individuals of character and skill, capable of building both physical structures and lives of meaning and purpose. The synthesis of operative and speculative geometry, as described in the Regis poem, laid the foundations for the enduring legacy of Freemasonry, which combined the practical skills of the stonemason with the philosophical insights of geometry. These learned clerks created a craft that would transcend its material origins and become a vehicle of moral and spiritual growth. This transformative process can be likened to the art of alchemy, in which base metals are transmuted into gold, or literal gold, through the combination of physical and mystical means. So in the case of Freemasonry, the base materials of stone and the practical techniques of operative stonemasonry are elevated and imbued with deeper significance through their association with geometric principles and philosophical truths. The Regis poem thus presents Freemasonry as a craft that operates on multiple levels, providing its practitioners with both the means to earn a living and the tools to build a life of integrity and purpose. So by engaging with the symbols and teachings of the craft, Masons then participate in a centuries-old tradition of self-improvement and moral refinement, which is guided by the wisdom that those ancient clerks who first conceived this noble art. The second paragraph of the Regis poem offers a glimpse into the origins of Freemasonry, revealing the profound alchemy that forged the craft. So by exploring this historical context and symbolic implications of the passage, we gain a deeper appreciation of the transformative power of uniting both operative masonry with speculative geometry. And as Masons carry forward this legacy, we must strive to embody the values and wisdom at the heart of the craft and use the tools of a Mason to shape our lives, as well as share the light of Masonry to all those who seek truth, morality, and brotherhood.
This has been the Daily Masonic Progress Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow us on Spotify or subscribe on Apple Podcasts. The Daily Masonic Progress Podcast is available on all streaming platforms with new episodes every week.